James, you gave it a good go tonight, didn't you? Just waiting for that one breakthrough.
Yeah, I thought the performance was good. The intensity, desire was good. Won the ball back well, pressed pretty well. But, you can't not take the chances we had tonight. We had more than enough chances to do what we needed to do, and we didn't take them, and that was the difference, unfortunately.
Yeah, Courtois, fantastic save from you. But you're right, it was the chances that kept coming. That's been a problem of late, hasn't it, a little bit?
Yeah, I think the positive is that we're creating them, and especially as a team like this, and the reaction we showed after the first leg, and we have done enough tonight to go through. I believe that, the chances we had. We were obviously the better team, and Ali's made a good save as well, which you're going to expect. But we did enough to win the game and do what we needed to do. But if you don't take your chances, and you only need that first one. If you get the first one in, then obviously it changes the game again. But you don't take your chances, and you're not going to go through.
We saw the intensity, and we saw you set the tone with an early tackle on Benzema. That was the kind of energy you needed at the start.
Yeah, we wanted to come out of the blocks and make sure they had no time on the ball, and set that tempo and intensity. I think that carried through then from early on, and maybe with a few of the substitutions, sometimes it lose your way a bit for a few minutes until the guys get into the game and stuff like that. And maybe it just cost us a few minutes of time, but we came again and had chances. Once the boys come on and felt the tempo of the game. So. It's disappointing, obviously a disappointing way to end, because if we'd have played the first leg with that same intensity, I'm sure it could have been a different story.
Yeah, Casemiro was waiting to take you out, a little bit of retribution. Was he lucky to get away with a yellow?
I don't know, I just kicked the ball down the line and got nailed, so it's all part of it.
Yeah. So essentially this was lost in the first leg in some respects, because you gave yourself a mountain to climb here.
We did, from our poor performance, I think, first leg. But you can say we left ourselves too much to do because we haven't done it, but like we said, we have done enough tonight to probably win the game if we take our chances. So yes and no, but ultimately we weren't good enough over the two games. It was a good effort tonight. I thought some outstanding performances. Nat Phillips again was absolutely fantastic at the back, and again, it's disappointing because we did everything we wanted to do other than get the 2 goals, which is obviously the most important thing.
And I suppose the season boils down now to getting in the top 4 and being back here again.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing is that we concentrate on our level of performance, and if we perform with that intensity and desire and tempo that we played with tonight for the last league games, then hopefully we can get into those top 4 spots. But that's the most important thing, that we replicate this form and these sorts of performances. That's the one thing that we've been missing, that consistency we haven't had. So that's what we need to get back and have a big push these last few games and put this disappointment aside.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Jurgen, we saw a lot of effort, a lot of desire. Just didn't fall right for you tonight, did it?
Yeah, look, it's like you always need these key moments. The performance in general was good. That was much better. So we didn't lose the tie tonight. We lost it definitely in Madrid, but even if we play there 0-0, we would probably now still play because we didn't score. And it was uncomfortable for Madrid, definitely. We were good, we were aggressive, we played some really good stuff and had obviously massive chances in the beginning of the game. You use one, so it's hypothetical, I know that, but you use one of them, and the knock for us just opens up, you can go, it feels different. They had already struggles that would have increase that, but how I said, if and when, not really interesting because we didn't score, and so it got more and more difficult. And then with the experience of Real Madrid, they played it down, the time down, and so that's how it is.
You wanted to see Liverpool play, as you said, play like ourselves. I mean, you did see that apart from the finishing.
It's a little bit ourselves this year, if you want, without the finishing, because we had games here, ridiculous games, where we should have won, definitely, not tonight, but in the Premier League, where we just don't finish the situations off. But yeah, we have to take that. That's how it is. We all know how often and how many times Mo Salah finished these kind of things with closed eyes, pretty much. In this moment, not. Then, but we had really a lot of situations, and we could have had more because the football we played around was even better than the chances we created with that. We really had them in moments. Second half, after kind of 60 minutes, then they took a little bit of control. They had more of the ball, and and we made the changes, and it was maybe timing-wise not exactly right. We want to have fresh legs, but now we didn't come through that well anymore, to be honest. We saw we lost a little bit of rhythm in these moments, tried it a little bit too hard, like pass the ball through. How in the beginning we didn't try it in these moments, or pass the ball in their feet around the box. So you just have to play. We needed the width, so like whoever is there, Mo, Trent, Sadio, Robbo, not important. The rest is in half spaces. Play there, offer the runs, and let them run with their man-marking system. The first half situation when Sadio, I think, slipped when he was in front of the goalies and was no offside. That's how they defended, and you need to force these situations more often. And but how I said, tonight it was absolutely okay, but we are out anyway.
So now you build up to the end of the season to make sure you're back here again.
Yeah, we have to. We have to. We love this competition, and it's for different reasons very important for the club. So we have to. It's doesn't make it now easy or whatever. So these 2 or 3 games we would have fitted easily in our schedule, but now it's obviously we can now concentrate, unfortunately, on the Premier League. But we will. That's what we will do. Monday night Leeds is the next challenge, leading in all physical stats in the league. Leeds, we have to run and work our socks off pretty much to get there. Anything. That's what we try to prepare now.
Thank you, Jurgen.
Welcome.
Pretty accurate summation of events, I would say, Michael.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think the most common words that we used in the build-up to this game was intensity, energy. We want to see that from Liverpool. That's what Liverpool have based their success on, certainly under Jurgen Klopp. And it's almost inexcusable, isn't it, when you don't see that? You know, you can get over injuries, you can get over a lot of things, lack of form, but if you don't see that thing that makes everything tick, that spark to start with, and it's so simple.
And
you know,
it's
run around.
been absolutely their great strength.
And that's the big sort of question. That's why we brought up this leading into the game, because it's something that Spanish teams don't like. They're not used to it, and that's what English teams, that's our strength. That's what it has been, our strength for years. And now we've got quality as well to go along with that. So a high tempo, high press, high energy game is absolutely what Liverpool need to continue to do now.
We said it before the game. We asked the question: is it because of the heavy metal type brand of football that Liverpool have been playing under Klopp? He's been here only 4.5, 4 years, 5 years.
5 years. Yeah.
So, is it sustainable playing at that level?
It hasn't been this season. It doesn't seem to be, unless the players have subconsciously switched off a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's what the questions get asked. And you say, is it that? Is it the pandemic? Is it the injuries to key players?
But you can also point to missing chances, because Liverpool have had 139 shots at Anfield in 2021 and only scored 3 goals here at Anfield.
Yeah, and that's not a stat that you would have put at this team.
Not with the quality they have at the top.
Yeah, they have some fantastic players up front who can change games at an instant, and you've got the ability to not only get in but create the chances and then have that coolness. We're talking about players at the top end of the goal scoring charts for the last 2 or 3 years. That chance there, they'll be kicking themselves, I'm sure, for days about that chance, Salah especially, because that is a chance. If one of them goes in, we would have then seen what this Real Madrid team are made of then, and then the experience, would that have played a big part? It did eventually, obviously, in the game, but they get a goal, everything's different.
Yeah, there's so many good chances in the first half, but I can't help but think that the first one of Mo Salah, difficulty level of that is not high at all. I mean, some of these are, that was stuck under his feet, very difficult. First touch, only okay. Maybe he can feign to shoot and actually bring it onto his left foot, because he's got a defender sliding into him. But then in the second, that pass
is nasty.
How do you even think of hitting it with your outside of your foot from the angle that ball comes in? I mean, it's brilliant. And then he shows his left foot, right foot. He's got the whole array of talent. And here, even Mo Salah there has taken 4 touches to get it
out of his feet, could he?
3 to get it out of his feet. Don't get me wrong, he played well today. He was sharp. I thought Liverpool looked sharp all the way, but those tiny little differences in the 6-yard box, in the 18-yard box, what made all the difference.
It's certainly not a shortage of opportunities, Rio.
No, and I think that's the one positive that I think Jurgen Klopp will take from that. From the games that we've been seeing him in the recent weeks.
It might be negative, but it's also a positive.
Yeah, they didn't get the result, they didn't win, etc. But they actually created a hell of a lot of chances on this big stage as well, by the way. So that's what they need to take into the remainder of the season if they're to come and play in this tournament next season.
We also must give Zinedine Zidane credit. Again, we talked about the tactics that he's kind of It's probably not seen for that much, but he must be starting to be appreciated more now for the tactical nous.
People need to start putting a bit of respect on his name. Zidane as a player, they respect him, but as a coach, I don't think he gets what he deserves. Listen, when he had Bale, when he had Ronaldo, etc., he could play a bit more expansive. Here you see that team, you could throw a blanket over the white shirts there. He's got them set, he's got them compact, he's got them disciplined. They're doing all the ugly stuff in the game that you need to do to get through these type of stages of football. And they are a team that are packed with experience, missing their two main centre-backs, but get the job done.
I actually thought they were quite brave in the first half. I thought they came at Liverpool and sort of played to Liverpool's strengths. Second half, they played more on the counter-attack and sat back. And I felt that Liverpool struggled a little bit more to break them down. First half, it was fantastic, but I did think that Zidane played into their hands in the first half, but then second half, he pretty much shut up shop.
Casemiro's he's a handy man to have around, isn't he? He's one of those players you wouldn't want to play against.
Excellent footballer. He does all the graft, the hard yards, all of the ugly stuff, but with a bit of quality as well. I've seen him live a good few times, but today, even his passing today was top draw in tight situations, finding the spare man, but knowing where to be. The most tackles, most regains of the ball today on the pitch out of any player. A complete understanding of the defensive midfielder role in a football team.
Those first-time passes like that are just killers for the opposition, especially when you're a high-pressing team like Liverpool. He would win the ball back, and first time he would break the lines. It's a real asset to have. And then some of these are blocks, tackles, doing all the horrible work, really. A little bit like Fabinho in the Liverpool team. He is virtually irreplaceable. You need one of these in every team, and two Brazilian number sixes, as we call them, probably two of the best in the world.
I really love the way he plays football. Disciplined, doesn't go too far away from the area of danger in front of the back four. When he needs to come out there, picks his times. And I think he's a player that when you play in the team with a player like that, you absolutely adore having him in your team, and you know when they're not there.
They also showed that they've got a bit of strength and depth in their central defence, Rio.
Yeah, they did. And I think, listen, when everyone heard that Ramos isn't going to be there in the first game.
No Varane.
Varane's not going to be there in the first game. You sit there and think, wow, this is going to be tasty. You've got the front three of Liverpool who get goals. They're fast. They're aggressive.
They won the Classico with that as well.
And they won the Classico as well. And I think the Classico is an important result. If they lose that game, then I think they come here lacking a bit of confidence, a little bit more on the back foot. They came here with their chests out. They look confident, even though they give up a few chances early on. But we were saying it on it here, watching the game from up here, they're not concerned. They're not fazed by conceding chances. When I've played, even my teams you played in, you give up a few chances early in the game, you're under a bit of pressure. Some people
that's
shrink.
when perhaps a crowd makes a difference.
Yeah, but I always say that about these experienced Spanish sides especially. They thrive off this type of pressure and backs against the wall.
And how many times do they peak at the right time of the year?
Yeah.
I mean, it's uncanny. When the prizes are getting handed out, these experienced players that are long in the tooth, that have been there, seen it and done it.
But they're top players, Michael. And top players are there. Top players for a reason, aren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah, indeed. Liverpool's performances. Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, he was probably the main creative source once again for Liverpool, Michael.
He was, and this was a lot more like it from Liverpool in general. They just looked themselves tonight, and when they look themselves, the full-backs they just create havoc. He gets forward, he makes late runs, he can hit it across, cross balls with his left foot, his right foot. I mean, look at that. He was pinging balls in. You just didn't know which side of his foot he was going to hit it with, let alone which foot he was going to hit it with. I mean, he's a stunning player, and of course the spotlight's on him. Quite
I just
literally
think he's too good to be a full-back. That's my.
This is the best part of the game. He's got every club. He's got every club in the bag. That's an outrageous pass he's just made there. But yeah, listen, we've seen fullbacks. Cancelo at Man City this season. We've seen Kimmich do it. Lahm's done it.
Switch positions.
They've changed positions.
Yeah.
Has he got the ability to do it? He was a midfielder as a kid, so I definitely believe he has. But it's all about the manager and the structure within the team. And I don't see Klopp switching him from a full-back to
passing
midfield.
range. The problem when you're playing at right-back, of course, is that you're limited as to where you can pass it. You can pretty much only go one way. You play in the middle. He can go both ways. And surely that would be
Yeah, I understand the clamour for him to go midfield, but at the same time, when he has the ball, he only has people coming from his left-hand side as pressure. a lot of the time,
Yeah,
or inside there. Where in your midfield, you've got pressure coming from a whole 360. So it's a different type of pressure, and he's always facing up on the game. He can see things. You've got to receive the ball with your back to play. It's a whole different dynamic playing in centre midfield.
Truth is, it's all hypothetical unless Klopp decides to give him a run in there at some
Pep
point.
buys
I'd just
him.
love to see. or Pep buys him. That would be. Yeah, trophyless season now for Liverpool. Top 4, their objective. Won't be easy either.
No, it won't. Very difficult. They've put themselves in a position where they're in the chasing pack now. Chelsea are getting stronger. The teams above them, Leicester may be a team they could maybe potentially catch in terms of form. Sorry, Gary, but it's a fact. So yeah, listen, it's going to be tough. But this place, they've been used to it for the last couple of years, Champions League football, and they've thrived under the spotlight here, under the pressure. The emotion that's generated here at this place it's been great to see from their perspective. But I think it's a tough ask getting back in Champions League this year.
Do they need to strengthen in the summer, Michael?
Well, they're going to welcome back with open arms a couple of big players for them. And once they're fit, then I don't really look at the squad and think it needs a big overhaul. I mean, they bought Jota for a lot of money. I can't see really. Do you know, I think there's a big drop-off at Liverpool. Once their best 14 players, if they've got like 4 or 5 injuries, I think there's a drop-off then. Well, they've got sort of 14, 15 players that I think are first team, don't weaken the side. But then I think there's a little bit of a drop-off.
Whether they want
to change that or not.
And to keep their star men that they've got. And if they're not in the Champions League, that perhaps becomes more difficult.
Perhaps, but really, you know, you still wouldn't want to leave Liverpool at the moment. I mean, Liverpool are flying high. And the teams that say, I presume you're referring to someone like Mo Salah or players like that, you know, Barcelona, Real Madrid, they're the types of teams. I'm not sure they've got that big money at the moment. You know, Madrid are spending fortunes on their stadium, about 500 million euros or something. So I still think that it would take Liverpool to be out the Champions League for a few seasons to have a real drop in form. And the signs tonight were really, really encouraging as well.
Manchester City are in the semi-final, which is great for them. Obviously, it'll be a tough one against PSG with Mbappe and Neymar and co. So that'll be exciting to look forward to. Really? Phil Foden, once again, the match winner for them this evening. He's turning into a superb player.
That's his second match winner in the Champions League here. I mean, he's phenomenal. What
he's become a go-to now for Pep in the big games, which is a great sign.
Yeah, he has, and he's a talent they've known about for years, and they've nurtured him. That's the great thing. They've been patient. They've nurtured this talent. They knew what they had under the bonnet, and now he's starting to show the fruits of what they already knew they had.
I must admit, I think everybody's been wanting to see him be the go-to man for a long time now, and it's great to see him actually playing in all the big games.
Chelsea, Real Madrid, that'll be a good one as well.
Tell him what you said, Mo. We had a bet.
We've had a bottle of wine bet earlier. Yeah. I've gone for an all-English final. He thinks the opposite.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going Paris Saint-Germain versus Real Madrid.
What's the wine?
Well, it's not one of your expensive bottles, I can assure you of that.
I think we're about out of time, chaps. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Rio, as well. That's it from us. Liverpool are out as the mystery and the misery on the Mersey meanders on. Farewell.